How's it going, YouTube? Happy Friday. Trying something a little different. Shave, just got a haircut, so I figured I'd make a video while my hair looks good because I will never make it look good ever. So it's just, it is what it is. I have zero ability to style my own hair. You think I would by this point, but no. Nope, two left hands, worthless. Anyway, what am I yammering about today? Well, what I'm yammering about today is something that I'm going to recommend that owner-operators who are filing for their own operating authority, who are looking to go solo and get themselves completely on their own, everything, do before you actually separate yourself from the carrier you're with, or before you actually start your business, as it were, meaning you are looking to haul revenue freight, and that is getting on board with brokers before you press that go button, as it were. Now, before you can sign on with any brokers at all, you've got to have your insurance, you got to have your MC, your DOT, you got to have everything in a row, basically ready to rock and roll. But if you're still hauling freight for somebody else, meaning you're still leased on with another carrier, or you've bought your equipment, you filed for your authority, but you're still a company driver with somebody else first, before you launch, whatever you're doing before you actually start looking to haul revenue freight on your own operating authority, you need to be on with brokers. Now, you don't have to be. Like, if you have direct customers already lined up before you press go, you're ahead of the game. So good for you, then you don't need to worry about what I'm talking about. This video really isn't for you. But if you don't have direct customers, or you're not sure who to sign on with, well, let's talk about that for a few moments here while I'm enjoying some very lovely V8 therapy in my lovely Mustang here. So what I mean by brokers is, first of all, brokers who will actually work with brand new carriers. Now, it is June the 9th, 2023, and things are special right now in the freight market, which means you may not have a super easy time getting on with a lot of brokers out of the gate. I've already come into contact with several brokers who have said, yes, you need to have minimum 30 days of active authority, meaning your insurance is on file and your authority in the Safer website is listed as active. So you've got to have your insurance for that. It has to be active. You got to have that on file with FMCSA before your authority will be considered active. So a lot of other brokers, 60 days they need to see of activity. Others need 90 days. There's a couple of brokers I've come across who need 1 year or more. For example, Transfix, they're a good broker. I like them. I've worked with them a few times, being leased on with my previous carriers. Good freight, good brokers, good people, at least in so far my experience. However, they require 1 year of active authority before they'll work with you. Now, that could change after June 9, 2023, again, when I'm making this video. But as of now, June 9, 2023, Transfix requires 12 consecutive months of active authority. You have to have 1 year of active authority. Okay, so if you're brand new, Transfix is out for you. It's just the way it is. Unless by some miracle you call them and someone says, yes, we'll work with you. We'll go XYZ process. We'll do this review, whatever. We'll get you in. They might. Odds are, though, probably not. So you have to assume that Transfix will make you wait 1 year before you can sign on with them and become a carrier. Another broker that requires huge amount of time for your active authority, that is Ease Logistics. Now, I like Ease Logistics a lot, and I'm not thrilled that I can't work with them with my new authority anytime soon. They require 18 months of active authority before they'll work with you, before they'll let you sign on with them as a carrier. 18 months with Ease Logistics. Now, that is super unfortunate because, again, I really like Ease Logistics. I've worked with them on a couple of loads the last couple of months here, and just a great experience talking with the broker agent that I worked with. Had no issues with paperwork, payment, as far as I'm aware. Everything went really well with Ease, and I wish I could work with them now with new authority. But unfortunately, they require 18 months per their system. It's just the way it is. nothing you can do about it. You just gotta, put your time in before you can work with some of these brokers. Now, on the other side of that coin, brokers that will work with brand new authorities, there's a lot of those folks out there. For example, everyone's favorite punching bag, Total Quality Logistics, TQL. They will work with brand new authorities. You can sign on with them, yes. You may have to jump through some hoops to get everything set up and squared away with them, but they will work with brand new authorities. So you can sign on with TQL, pretty much day one and just get going with TQL, as long as you can go through all the process and get everything sorted out with them right away. Another company you can probably get in with pretty quickly is Allen Lund. Now, I like Allen Lund as well. I've had good experiences with Allen Lund the last couple of years working with carriers where they're working the DAT board or the load boards. Allen Lund is a good company to sign on with. Now, Allen Lund is a little bit different because they have different regional offices, and each regional office has its own special way of doing things. So if you're in, let's just say Chicago, for example, and you're a brand new authority. I was talking to Allen Lund a couple of months ago, just doing some research, making sure I had my ducks in a row before I was going to, file for my insurance and get my authority activated. And I asked them, okay, well, what are your requirements for new carriers? And they said, okay, well, for most carriers, you can get in with us, right away. However, to haul freight out of our particular office, I think it was Chicago. It might have been a different number. I really don't remember which office it was. It might have been Chicago. It could have been some other Midwest regional, but I think it was Chicago. The gentleman I spoke with said, you've got to haul 6 loads with another office, or at least with 6 other Allen Lund brokered loads before this office can work with you, because we have customers that have certain requirements, and those customers want to see that the carriers we're working with are carriers that have a track record of doing the job, moving the freight on time, communicating well. It is what it is, whatever the requirements are, or a certain number of loads that have been brokered and successfully hauled. Pick your poison as where they just have certain arcane requirements that changes the game a little bit for new authorities with Allen Lund. Now, that's not every office, but every office you have to assume is going to be a bit unusual or a bit specific to the customers that they're working with, and it's just going to vary office to office. That's just it. You won't know until you pick up the phone and call them and see what's what. Another broker you can get in with out of the gate is C.H. Robinson. Now, C.H. Robinson has their own load board as well. So does TQL. So you're basically getting access by signing on with these brokers, TQL and C.H. Robinson. You're getting access to their specific load boards and the freight that they've already got in their system. So you're bypassing the DAT board entirely, or public load boards. You're going right to their load boards, and you're working with that broker directly to move freight, which out of the gate is going to make it easier for you, because you'll be competing less on the open market, so to speak, and more in a not quite private but almost private environment, but also with a broker that will work with a brand new authority. And also because TQL and C.H. Robinson are very, very large, very solvent brokers, you will have very little difficulty in factoring those loads to ensure you get paid out quickly, and that the factoring company that you're working with won't get left holding the bag by a fly-by-night broker you took a chance on because you didn't do a credit check on them. Like, for example, I'm doing my factoring with Triumph Business Capital, and Triumph Business Capital was up front and said, yeah, if as long as the broker does not go bankrupt, if they default on a payment or fail to pay, we're going to come back and we're going to look to recoup the money we paid out to you from you, because we trust that you are doing your due diligence on these brokers to make sure that they are someone who's already approved with us for factoring, that we can trust that will pay us on an invoice after we've paid you, when we're going through the process of pursuing the resolution of that invoice with the broker. So that's a big advantage to have, because again, TQL, people hate on them, whether it's deserved or not. It's a mixed bag. but they're big. They work with new authorities, and they have a load board that you basically get access to once you're in with them. Same with C.H. Robinson. Big brokers that are able to work with new authorities are people you need to be working with. I mean, Redwood Logistics is another one I'm in with as well. They don't have a load board unto themselves, but they do work with new authorities. That is an advantage to you. But they also have an email list, and they can kind of tailor things more specifically to individual carriers, which again, advantage to you. Because you might be able to work with them specifically on specific loads, regions, you name it. So those are things you need to look at and work towards as you're getting yourself set up. Now, I'm sure there's a ton more brokers out there who will work with new authorities. I don't have all of them available or in my head because, again, I'm still looking to get in with more. Another one to look at is JB Hunt. Now, JB Hunt can be a little special because they have so much and it's so different and it's just so massive. But they have the power only option. They've got, their load board as well, drive and reefer, you name it. Intermodal, drayage, all that kind of good stuff. Those are all things that they do. So talk to brokers, look at things, see what's available. However, I think JB Hunt, I just signed on with them. I sent in a carrier packet to them, and I believe they look for 90 days of operating authority as well. So before you can really be in with JB Hunt across their board, unless you've gotten some other in with them, you need to be need to have 90 days of active authority. Another broker that needs 30 days, but is a very good broker that I've had a lot of good success with, that I've had good relationships, that I've had good experiences with, more accurately, Coyote Logistics. They require 30 days of active authority to sign on with them. Molo Logistics, or Modern Logistics, aka Molo Solutions. I like this broker a lot. I've worked with them several times. There's one particular guy I've worked with the company I used to be with, and I'm going to try to work with him again when I can actually sign on with them. I like Molo a lot. Really good company in my experience. Molo Solutions is someone that you should look at, in my opinion, if you've got that 30 days minimum of active authority. They have good freight, a lot of stuff moving around. Someone you definitely want to be able to have in your Rolodex of contacts. In my opinion, recommend them very highly. There's a few others I need to talk about. I'm drawing a blank on a few more. I'll probably do another video of some more brokers I'm going to get in with, or that I have gotten in with. But yes, you want to make sure before you go live, you've got options to look at, and you're in with brokers before you just, day one, you're starting to look for freight, and you got to do carrier packets at the same time. Like, you want to do carrier packets and get those out of the way first. You want to have all that sorted out before you look at freight for the very first time, so no matter what, you can talk to that same broker and go point to point to point to point. If it's one that's like TQL, where you maybe go from Chicago to Omaha, and then you go from Omaha to Houston, then maybe you go Houston to Birmingham, then maybe you go Birmingham to Cleveland, and you're using TQL the entire way. Like, that's not going to be a poor way to do business, as long as you feel you're getting decent rates for the freight available. Because TQL is so huge, they're probably going to have freight options in most of those markets. So as much as people hate on them for different reasons, some good, some not so good, it's, as a brand new authority, it is to your advantage to be in with them and work with them and learn the good and the bad and the ugly about them, because they're huge and they work with new authorities. And it's a starting point at the very least. Same thing with C.H. Robinson. Now, I've had some issues with C.H. Robinson trying to get loads booked with them because of different things. But if you're going through their app and you're booking through their portal, you might have greater success that way. I mean, it's kind of a mixed bag with them. I don't have a huge amount of experience with C.H. Robinson, but I do know that, again, they work with new carriers and they have a load board, and you can get in with them day one, essentially, as long as everything is on file for your authority. So look into these brokers. The bigger the better for new authorities, and make sure that you have a factoring company where you're able to do credit checks on any other broker you choose to work with on the DAT board or any other public trucking load board, so that you can check the credit and make sure that the factoring company has already vetted that carrier, or that broker, as a broker that will is considered solvent to them, that is known to pay its bills and pay out on loads to the factoring company, because you don't want that factoring company coming back to you and saying, hey, look, so-and-so broker didn't pay out on this load, now it's on you. So, because that's the unwritten thing about factoring, is that you got to make sure that you're working with people who will pay out on loads and will do so in a way that makes sense for the factoring company. Because not all of us can afford to wait, 14 to 30 days for payouts. Very few of us can, I would think, actually. And it's just one of those things where you want to be working with good quality solvent brokers. And I would say C.H. Robinson's a good one, Allen Lund is a good one, Redwood's a good one. Jury's out on TQL, because I've heard good, I've heard bad, I've heard a lot of bad about TQL, but my experience does not yet match that, because I have yet to truly have a negative experience with TQL, and I'm hoping as I work with them over the next few months, I'll be able to develop a better opinion of them and kind of learn their system and just kind of see how it's flowing, because it is what it is. Oh, Integrity Express Logistics is another one to look at as well. They will work with new carriers. I'm trying to get in with them. I think I'm in, but at the same time, I don't think I've gotten my login information yet. Something else. I got to, get on the phone with them and see what's what, make sure I'm actually on board with them so that I know what I'm doing before I go to book a load with them. And I say, oh, look, you got to do a whole new carrier package. So, it is what it is. Anyway, that's all for now, YouTube. Thank you so much for watching, and I will be making more videos about this subject and getting started down the way here, and trying to share information as I learn it in a way that I hope will be helpful for other owner-operators looking to become solo motor carriers. So if that's you, I wish you good luck. Wish me good luck too. Please and thank you, and I will see you down the road. Thanks so much for watching.